Well, speaking of dueling, right? Let's move on to their next theme because we've
Yeah.
which is the dueling theme, the one-on-one, and they give us two primary cards here. Now, before we go on, to explain for people who may not know that the way dueling works in the game mechanics. So, you initiate a duel with a card effect, right? Like they've given us here, and you then take your honor dial and you make a bid between 1 and 5, and you take the result of that honor bid or that bid that you make, and the person who bid higher, just like in the draw phase, gives the difference to the loser, or not to the loser, but the person who bid lower. So if I were to bid 2 and Ginger were to bid 4, then he would pay me 2 honor, right? And then you take the result from the honor wheel or the honor bid, right? So he bid 4, and you would add it to his character's glory attribute, and I would do the same for mine. So, and
Mhm.
they, if we were both using Kakita Kaizen here, who has 2 glory, um, you bid 4, you would end up with a result of 6, and I would end up with a result of 4, and then the effect resolves itself, for the winner, and the loser suffers the consequences. So, but they give us 2 cards here, which, like, there's a lot of words on the duelist training, but so there's 2 cards. Kakita Kaizen, which is a personality. He's a 3 fate cost, 3 military, 2 political, 2 glory. He's Bushi, duelist, Kenshinzen traits, and his action is when a character, while this character is participating in a conflict, your opponents must choose a participating character he or she controls, challenge that character to a military challenge or military duel. If this character wins, move each character not involved in the duel home. If it loses, send it home.
Yeah.
So, um, and then the duelist training essentially is a military duel. It's a 1 fate cost attachment that gives the attached character an action to do a military duel where the loser is bowed. But the winning the instead of giving honor to the um, instead of giving honor, you discard cards from your hands. All right, so it's kind of a nod to the old dueling mechanic there.
Yeah.
Um, but notably,
Which,
it's also one influence. Mhm.
which, as I said earlier, allows you to defend with very few bushi.
Yeah, but duelist training is one influence, right? It's so it can
Yeah.
be ported in another clan. So I think you're going to see dueling quite a bit. I mean, undisputably, Crane will probably be the best, if not equal to Dragon for dueling, right? Because they both have those strong themes with dueling. But
Yeah.
um, I don't.
I want to see a scorpion duelist. Just saying, I want to see a
Yeah,
scorpion duelist.
I don't think they will be restricted to the only clans, and even if they are, with this being one influence, and depending on how the deck building rules shake out, this could be portable into any other clan,
Yeah.
potentially. So, uh, I think you're right. They'll be incredibly strong at defending with a low number of people. Uh, but they'll also have, because they're an honor-based clan, they'll have to draw less, right? Because they want to bid lower during the honor draw. And none of these duels we've seen so far have really given us a kill action. I mean, they both bow losers, and no, they both, one sends it home, and the other one bows the loser. So, and they're potentially costing honor, depending on how the board state is. Because I could
Yeah.
easily get up to like 7 force of the Lion Berserker. The Lion, was it Lion Berserker? The three,
I
yeah.
all I saw was the one lion card they spoiled earlier today. But
Yeah.
as you said to me before we got on here, don't get you started on lion today, or the
Yeah,
change the subject in the title.
yeah. But
So there was no
yeah.
lion card spoiled today. Back to the crane.
Back to the crane. Uh, I think dueling can be broken though. Like I think if they don't balance it right, I will share in your critique of dueling, right? In the crane is that I think it's a mechanic they gotta be very careful with
Hmm.
because it's never been easy to balance, and I don't think that's any less true in this game.
Well, thematically, I've never understood dueling in a battle scenario. I
Oh, really?
guess in a highly honor regimented society, other soldiers would stand aside
Hmm.
and allow a duel of heroes to happen. So I can okay now. I guess I can see it, but as I played the old L5R, dueling was either crazy broken or never worth your time.
Yeah.
And the difference was like minute.
Yeah.
Because I've seen dueling like when I've seen decks built to duel that couldn't win a game
Hmm.
because yeah they take out a personality, but you just wasted your entire fate hand to do it.
Yeah. And this one, like, you have to give him honor, right? If you potentially, because I think it's going to be a little bit more closer. At
Yeah.
at its face, it seems like people are going to be a little bit more closer when trying to compare um, their, you know,
I mean,
their results or whatever like that. So I mean, it
it's not as broken as
depends.
the days of double chi though.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Old player.
Woo!
So for people who don't run around, basically double chi was you had double the result.
Yeah,
And then they made it to where it's double the, when you try to go to make the focus, you play the card face down, it's double that at some point. And it was just,
it was
it was never,
it was
it was,
crazy.
yeah.
It was crazy broken in the beginning.
End of story, dueling has always been broken or sucked completely. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's never been, and I hope that this isn't the same way. It doesn't seem the same way, but I could see how it can kind of get out of hand a little bit if they don't uh, cost and have equivalent effects or and costs to each of these things.
I'm really hoping they play tested the dueling schematic
Yeah.
ad nauseum
Oh, I don't.
because
Yeah, I don't doubt that
if
they
an,
did, but.
if you're building an entire clan's military theme
Hmm.
on one mechanic, you better do it right.
Yeah, I think they did it here. I mean, by what they've shown us here is pretty reasonable. It's pretty good. I like the design of the
Yeah,
both. I like the duelist training more than I like Kakita Kaizen.
yeah.
Because Kakita Kaizen
We're
can be wiped out and this is portable, like the duelist training is. So,
yeah, we're not gonna know till the power gamers get a hold of it though.
well, yeah, once it hits a competitive environment, we're gonna see people are gonna figure out. It'll probably take a couple months, but people will figure out the most optimal way to make dueling decks completely ridiculous.
Hmm.
So, moving on to the third theme they talk about here, which is beyond reproach. So, the idea here is that they're getting card effects that allow them to negate things. So, they give us some. Well, let's talk about the most contentious card here that I've heard so far this week. It's Voice of Honor. It's zero fake cost event. Has interrupt. So, I think this is a new action type that we haven't seen. Um,
Hmm.
it says when effects of an event would initiate, if you control more honored characters than your opponent, cancel those effects, and it's 2 influence. So, which is worth mentioning. So, there's a lot of controversy over this card already from people who have not played the LCG, their other LCGs. Um, it's a counterspell. It's cancel.
I I did not see that card before, and now that you said that card out loud, I hate that card because it's perfect for the Crane.
It's a counterspell.
I mean, it's not even that. It's the Crane clan have always said, like the entire Crane like right the entire Crane power structure is I'm
Hmm.
right because I'm right.
Yeah, and this
I
is like.
invented culture,
Hmm.
so I can change the rules whenever I want. I invented honor, so I can change those rules whenever I want.
Hmm.
I mean, if you ever played the roleplay game,
Oh
if
yeah.
your character got 5 honor, you could do anything you wanted because you were obviously honorable. Therefore, what you were doing couldn't possibly be dishonorable. It said so in the book.
They are the no
I mean,
faction. They are the no faction. Like, no, we're better
yeah.
than you. You can't. Sorry. Come back next
It's like,
time.
everybody's got that friend who knows everything, and no matter how much you argue with him, he's always right, simply because he's right. And that's what the Crane are like with culture. They're like, no, we invented this. It's ours. You can't have it back. I never gave it to you. It's still mine. I say that what I'm doing now is culturally appropriate.
Yeah.
You can't stop me.
hmm
And here's a card to prove it.
I have a couple. I have a couple comments about the voice of honor because I agree with you. I think it's absolutely suited for Crane, and it's not going to be nearly as big of an issue. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's counterspell. It's a strong card, but I think it
It's
absolutely
also
just.
two fate.
No, it's zero fate. It costs
Oh,
zero.
zero. I thought you said two.
No,
My apologies.
costs zero. Yep.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's for free. They get to say no. But they're here. Follow. Let's just listen to me. This is why I think it's a good effect to have in Crane. One, they're not drawing nearly as many cards. So you're gonna have crab players who are just gonna go, oh, you have this thing. It's I'm two provinces away from being able to win, or one province. I'm just gonna draw 5 cards and fuck your face. That's right.
Yeah.
Playing cards now, you can't do anything, right? So having that check there where they actually have to think about which card they play first instead of just play the most powerful cards out of their hand, right, is necessary. Two, it's only if you have more honored characters. Now, while other factions will have probably effects that honor, like Phoenix or a Dragon, right, where have effects that honor their people, Lion will be able to. Crane will be the masters of it, right? Because we've already seen Wave the Crane. Not only that, they have a personality that says when you play Wave the Crane or honor when you honor that character, you honor another character. So they're
Yeah.
more likely to have more honored characters, right? It's not going to be easily portable necessarily into other factions. Two, it's a condition, it's a requirement, and you have Scorpion and other factions who just don't give a shit about that requirement. They're gonna say, no, well, fuck your face. I'm dishonoring your dudes, right? Oh, look at
Yeah.
me, I'm a Scorpion. Hey, look at that. All you guys are not honorable, So I think it's actually a good effect because it protects the the faction that won't have card draw, right? Because they'll have to play a card effect to get it because they won't want to
Oh,
naturally draw cards with the honor dial, right?
that card is perfect for the Crane. I have no actual
hmm
gripe with that card's existence.
Yeah.
I hate that card because I'm selfish.
No, you can hate it. Go ahead, hate it. I'm gonna
I
hate playing
I
against it too.
I I hate this card for pure personality, selfish reasons. No, whoever thought of this card is just got right inside the
As
head of the Crane
as
clan.
soon as there's a person in our play group, right, that I thought of as soon as, and you know who I'm talking about, but like,
Yeah.
as soon as I saw this card, I was like, oh, he's gonna piss himself. He was glee. And then every time I was gonna sit down playing against him, he's gonna be like, aha, I'm gonna go try to play this card. He's like, no. And I'm like, oh fuck that, yeah, god damn it. All right. Anyway, so yeah, that's Voice of Honor, but they also have other effects.
I I really hope when the Crab Clan cards come out, there's a Crab Clan card that says if you have Crab Clan personalities and your opponent does something you don't like, you have the right to punch them in the face.
I don't. I
Just
think
right there in the middle of the gaming store.
I think that would probably.
Oh!
I think that would probably be one of the few reasons why I might quit L5R. If they start putting cards that like say incite violence, okay.
The
Um,
Crab Clan, like every clan's gonna get a negate card, and the Crab Clan negate card is.
I actually think Crab will have other effects that say no, and honestly, it makes me question who's going to have other types of hate cards, whether or not they're going to be, counterspell, like an actual counterspell, like dispel magic or whatever type
Mhm.
effect. What if because Phoenix would probably get that, I would imagine. But like if there's going to be other types of cancellation effects in other factions that are conditional. If Scorpion's going to get one,
Mhm.
that's a good question, or at least a question that I had. Um, so going above question. Speaking of questions, hey, segue. So
Mhm.
above question is a one fate cost attachment. It provides no military or political bonus. It's a condition. It says attached character cannot be chosen as a target of an opponent's event. So this is a basically an attachment that you place on a character to make them immune to events. So again, that sort of putting them above everybody else. Um,
Essentially, they just have their honor is so high you can't
yeah, you can't.
rebuke them.
You can't. Yeah, it's just like no, you can't touch me. Sorry, can't touch this.
Yeah.
My bad dancing here on camera.
Hmm. I can't see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your camera is not appearing on my wonderfully expensive
Then you get to imagine
phone.
it.
This
you
is
get
a
you give it to be
very.
like our millions.
I say I.
Good.
Yeah. This is a very cheap phone.
Yeah. Well, you get to be like the millions of listeners out there who are listening to our audio content right now, and imagine me dancing. So there you go.
And if you're one of those people, I took the time to wear a tie.
Yeah. This
Just saying.
above question. Yeah. Above question. You're looking pretty snappy, man.
Thanks.
So like above question, like makes me also wonder who's gonna get attachment hate, right? Because there's got to be attachment hate somewhere in this game, something that just kills attachments. That makes me wonder that. Again, I like it for the same reason. I think that having immunity, it's an attachment, so it can be removed potentially if they have a card effect like that. And they also have two other personalities that have similar things. You know, Gust of Honor, a 4 fate cost, 1 military skill, 4 political skill. Courtier, 1 glory trait. Says while this character is participating in conflict, opponents cannot play events.
Yeah, I just built the greatest solitaire deck in my head.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
you can't touch me politically. My duelists make it so you can't mess with me militarily, and then I'm just shuffling out my guys for the honor.
He started this episode so happy.
I know, I did, and now I'm a broken, sad shell of a man.
It's okay. You get to be Scorpion player like in the Scorpion previews. I'm sure you'll get your revenge.
To be fair, I've been a broken, sad shell of a man since I got married 6 months ago.
We probably should have clarified at the beginning of the segment that we're getting all our clan bias out now for the next topic because we actually want to make people think that, convince people why they should play the Crane Clan, or at least new players coming into L5R for the first time. So there's a little bit of bias here.
If you become a fan of this podcast, and I hope you do because I really like talking to nobody.
Yeah.
Doug is just here so I have someone to sound my voice off of. So, listen to me talk about... Yeah. So, as you listen to this podcast, you're going to discover that I hate all of the clans for various reasons. And quite frankly, I'm not going to be quiet about it.
Well, I'm not really...
I hate my own clans for various reasons. They're fictional, and I'm allowed to hate them. I'm not allowed to hate people in real life.
Yeah, I don't mind it. There's effects that remove text from cards. We've already seen an effect like that, a spell that just blanks a person. You can kill personalities. I'm fine with it. They're not getting generally draw advantage, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be other effects that people are going to print. They're going to be equally as stupid. So yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think we've kind of talked ad nauseum about this.
Honor is their theme.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting yourself while you gain honor is what they do, and calling it a solitaire deck sounds insulting, but it was impossible to win with a solitaire deck without actually interacting with your opponent.
Yeah.
So it's what you called your opponent's deck after they kicked your butt.
Yeah. Well, I think...
Well, I would have won had you interacted with me in the way I think you should have interacted with me.
Yeah.
Stop whining, people.
Control is a definite part of L5R, and it
Yeah.
always has been. It's whether or not you actually have the ability to do things against it. And in the core mechanics, you have the ability to do things.
Yeah.
You have the ability to dishonor people. You have the ability to take fate off of people. You have the ability to discard cards from their hand.
Yeah.
If you don't like Voice of Honor, run the card that discards two cards from the hand, and then go for an Earth ring. There you go,
Yeah.
three
There,
cards.
there's
That's
there's ways around it. I'm saying you could build a traditional solitaire deck. I'm not saying it'll secure you a victory like it used to.
Yeah, I don't doubt that will be good, reasonably good. But like
Yeah.
how interactive it is probably the question I think there. So moving on, Doji Hitoru. Like to finish this up, we get our first clan champion in card form.
Yeah.
So yeah, five fake cost, three
Oof.
unique, five fake cost, three military skill, six political skill, Bushi champion, three glory. She has a reaction after you claim a ring during a political conflict in which this character is participating. Resolve that ring's effect. So she could basically resolve if she's attacking. She can resolve two claim effects, right? So she can gain like the resolve air twice. If she's defending, she can also resolve the claim effect on a ring as well once, because as defender you don't claim ring effects if you win the battle. So yeah,
Well, I
super.
mean, let's be honest. The champions have always been broken in their own special ways.
Hmm.
I They're supposed to be. It's they're supposed to define the clan. I am really looking forward to playing against her.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to assassinating her with ninjas. Like hard. I'm really looking forward to blowing up her province before she has the chance to come out. Because 5 fate, I don't know how much we're going to get at the beginning of every round, but 5 fate does not sound cheap.
Yeah, it's a big investment, for sure. And then you're gonna want to put fate on her because you don't want her to stick around
Yeah,
just for the turn.
you're gonna blow your entire wad just bringing her into play, most likely.
Yeah, but I mean, she definitely has an impact. I see her as kind of the end game personality to bring out. When you're at
Mhm.
20 or 21 honor and you just need that final push, to win an air victory and you get 4 honor. You know, oh, I
Well, I mean,
win my stupid dance.
if I'm remembering the rules right, you can have multiple copies of her in your deck. You can only have one in play at a time.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like you can bring her out in the early game, she can go away, and then come back in
Mhm.
the late game. I don't know, but that's a lot of fate over a course of a game that you're spending into one personality essentially twice. But so yeah, it's interesting. She's definitely I was a little worried because when L5R first came out, right in the L5R has already had this like horrible history. AEG was never really able to quite balance clan champions. In my opinion, they were like for a long time, like nobody put them in there unless they were like crab. They put Casada in there or something. But
Well, I mean,
yeah, well,
of course.
Casada was cheap. That was what it was.
No,
He was
no, he
within.
wasn't.
He
He was
was
like
within.
16 gold,
Well, the first one was 12. I thought wasn't it
maybe
12?
14. No, he was like 14 or 16 gold. Because
Yeah.
I just went back and looked at my old cards a couple days ago.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He was like 14, 16 gold, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
8 force, 4 chi, double chi. What made him broken was that him and his units couldn't be attacked by Shigenja spells or innate abilities.
Yeah. But yeah,
So he was worth the money when you were going up against high magic
he was
opponents.
yeah, he was the only one that I saw play, at least in my group.
But
I was kind of close, but like that's the thing. Most of them were
I
ridiculously
mean,
expensive, so they never saw play, right? Because the game was just too fast, or they became insanely broken, like Haida Kuan or Chagatai, or I can't pronounce his name, Chag
well,
XP4. So
back
now
when
that they have this character, right, you can play her, see her have play. She's reasonably powerful for what she should be. And
well,
I'm just glad to see that clan champions will be played and they're not overwhelmingly broken.
I was able to get Casada almost every game simply because I was playing a very slow, methodical build-up crab deck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why you saw the crab heroes more often than other clans, because crab decks, from what I saw, from how I played them especially, it was a much slower build-up.
Play a long
I could
game.
stop I could stop a lion speed deck in its tracks simply because I had a crazy province strength, and the few guys I got out had crazy force and I had crazy defense cards, and eventually you ended up with like specific province defense with the fortifications and
I mean, I liked my clan champions, but I didn't put a single clan champion in my deck for years.
yeah, the
Years.
Lion Clan champion back then was just
They were
every
garbage.
time. Yeah, well, I
I
got
mean,
my butt kicked by her many times.
I liked the theme of her. She was pretty cool. But talking about old cards, though, like I like the short
Yeah,
end of it. I'm glad that the clan champion isn't like nerfed or it's a reasonably powerful
she's
person.
she's useful.
Yeah.
She's definitely useful.
Hmm.
I don't I don't see a reason why you wouldn't field her.
Yeah. So.
5 fate. I don't know how much fate you're going to get every turn. 5 fate could be crazy expensive. That could be your entire turn.
Mhm.
I don't know. I've yet to see a card that tells me how much fate you get.
Well, the strongholds give us 7 fate every turn, and they've said that they're
Oh.
not keen on printing direct economy effects because they don't want the game to turn into, people draw into their economy and win. You
Yeah.
know, so you're gonna expect around 7 fate. You may be able to put extra fate on her when she enters play through another card effect or something, but those will be other card effects, right? But you'll also be able to save fate through from turn to turn too, which is
Yeah.
different. So you may be able to save up for her and afford her if you really want to keep her in play. But if investing too much fate in her also may be kind of a reliability to a degree. So I think it's interesting. Like it's going to be interesting to see the role that she fills. She's definitely going to be in decks, because she's just too good not to include in a deck. I think. Yeah. So okay, that's the previews. I'll be going into a full like card by card analysis. We just kind of want to discuss the themes and generally how the themes and mechanics are kind of shaping up with Crane. And I think you're right. They definitely are Crane cards.
Yeah.
So
There's no way around that. That's definitely Crane Clan.
I'm going to be banging my head against the wall probably for a long, long time against this clan. So all right, let's go on to our
I
next.
plan on I plan on making every Crane player I find from here until now cry into their sleeping pillows. That's a plan I'm never going to succeed at because as much as I love the game, I'm not that good.
Yeah.